Hi, this is Jack Westman for ESEAnews.com here in Jönköping, Sweden for DreamHack Winter 2014. Joining me this time is Sent from Team Bravado, the South African team here in Sweden. First of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Always
it's
nice
an honor
to be here. Well, how was
cool.
It's a bit of a flight from South Africa to Sweden.
Yeah, I mean it's quite a distance to travel from South Africa, stopping in Dubai, waiting, and then traveling to Sweden, and then catching a bus to come here. So it's been good. I mean, a bit tiring, but worth all of it.
At least you don't have the jet lag.
At least. 1 hour.
1 hour?
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, yeah. That must be hitting you pretty hard in that case.
That's all right. We got used to it in the last couple, 5-6 days.
Right. Okay, well, we'll talk about the boot camp in a sec, actually. But before we do, I'm aware this is a North American for ESEA.
Sure.
Not many people are likely to know that much about your team. So can you run us through your players? I know you're the caller, but who else have you got on the team and what are they doing for the team?
Yeah, well, our team's been together for the last 5 years as a core, which is 4 out of the 5 of us. And together as the 5, we've been together for about 1.5 to 2 years. My name's Andreas Sent, and I'm the caller and the AWPer in the team. Then we have Dimitri Detroni, which is entry fragger, multi-fragger for the team. Richard Deviant Groves, he does more of the all-around gaming and the fragging.
Yep.
We've got Dane Rackno, Friedman, which does a lot of the support roles and the gap pointing for the team to get into certain areas. And then we have Robbie Black Poison DeLoca, which is also one of our main fraggers that plays more of the role of going heads on up against the players we're playing against.
Right, and obviously you're a different team to, we saw Energy eSports in ESWC 3 weeks ago. You're a different South African team.
Yes.
Is it fair to say that you two are the best in the country at the moment?
I think there's a variety of teams. When I say variety, there's probably about 3 or 4 teams that have what it takes to take tournaments in South Africa. I mean, between us, Energy and Damage Control are the main teams that rotate between titles in South Africa. So, yeah, I mean, it's close competition, but at the end of the day, it's hard, you know, everyone can aim, everyone can play. It's a psychological game. It's how you come across at the tournament and how you feel on the day. So, yeah, I mean, I could say that, us 3 mainly.
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about your road to DreamHack and
Sure.
how you've played so far here today.
Cool.
So you mentioned you landed 6 days ago. You've been to the boot camp that Valve provided for all the teams in Stockholm. And you said that you fared pretty well against most of the teams there.
Yeah, I mean, we got to the boot camp about 5-6 days ago at Inferno Online. You know, I mean, all the top teams, not all of them, well, there were about 8 of us there. And we started off the first 2 days really, really strong. I mean, we were hitting scores like 16-12, 16-11, 16-10, won a couple of games against some international teams online. So, I mean, we learned a lot of things that is very different to the way we play. Like, when we play a lot of the European teams, we see a few things that we're not used to. But vice versa, we've got a few little tricks here and there that are also very different to the international scenes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it was an exchange to be like, yeah, okay, we'll learn something from you, you'll learn something from us. But at the end of the day, I think we're the guys that learned most of the stuff from the international teams coming to this boot camp.
What do you think are the big differences in play style between the top teams in South Africa and Europe? Is there anything noticeable?
Sure. When I look at a South African team, a lot of the guys rely on aim, and at the end of the day, it shouldn't be a team relying on aim. It should be more about the team dynamics. So I think if you put a South African player into a 1v1 situation against an international player, I think that the South African player would have more of the percentage in his favor to take out that player. But when it comes down to dynamics such as reading the map, moving into areas, finding the gaps, I think that's where we struggle a little bit, but getting there.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so your first match here today, obviously you started against Fnatic, which is a horrendous way to start a tournament for anybody.
Sure.
Arguably the best team in the world at the moment. I mean, there's got to be pressure going into that game, right?
Well, look, I mean, going into the first game on Mirage as terrorists against Fnatic is quite rough, especially the first game of the day, being on stage and everything. A few computer problems, we had to force buy 2 times because of those issues. You know, it's a few things that, a few aspects that threw us off our game. And at the end of the day, it is our first game at the event, at a big event like this. So I think we've been drilled for the next game. Yeah.
Right. Do you think it was just the initial shock of being, I mean, being on the stage never helps, right?
Yeah, I mean, like the guys were pretty calm. I think the guys generally have some good BMT, but it's a combination of things that came into play, and because of that, I think just everything came together, and we didn't play the game that we can play. So, I mean, we never even got a chance to play our CT. You know, also going over to CT and losing first round in a 3-on-1 was a bit rough. But I think after the little issues and the exterior aspects, we were thrown off our game a little bit. So we'll be ready for the next game.
Obviously, you don't know who you're going to be playing in the next game. It's going to be losers, whoever loses the next Group A game. What are you going to go and talk about for the next hour or two? What are you going to focus on?
I think exactly what we were going to focus on Fnatic. Make sure that the team dynamics are there, the coordination is there, the communication, simple aspects. And at the end of the day, you got to take your man. You know, if you're going to move into an area and try to fight someone, you got to fight someone. Make sure that your teammate is moving with you. Make sure that all areas are covered. So exactly what we spoke about against Fnatic, we'll speak about against the next game. I just think the different thing in this situation is that for the next game, we'll be in a better mental state.
Right, and you might not be on the stage, of course. You might be in the backstage area.
No, I think it's on the stage.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. It's fine.
No easing there.
Better for us. We play better under pressure anyway.
Right, okay. Well, good to hear. And I'm aware I will let you get back to your team very soon. But before I do, when can we expect to see you at another big tournament like this?
Yeah, I mean, you know, gaming in South Africa is upcoming. Obviously, it's not as big as the European or the Asian scene, but or the American scene. But it's getting there. I mean, when I say it's getting there, like the incline is really, really high. And as days go by, more South African gamers are getting into the competitive scene. So, you know, as time goes by, you'll definitely see some qualifiers in South Africa, getting some teams sent to international comps. I can't say when, but hopefully very soon.
Okay. Yeah. And before we go, do you have any shout outs for friends, family, sponsors, that kind of thing back home?
All the family, friends and opponents in South Africa, thank you guys, we really appreciate it. We are at DreamHack, we're here to try and make South Africa proud. You know, without you guys, we wouldn't be, without our sponsors, Alienware, Intel, fantastic, Razer, Correx, Courier. Yeah, guys, we're at DreamHack Winter 2014 and Bravado Gaming is representing.
All right, cool. Nice, short and sweet.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
And for everyone at ESEAnews.com and ESEA.net, stay tuned here in a very noisy DreamHack Winter for full coverage of the CSGO tournament.
Lovely.